Come on in. Whoa. It's way too close.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, we got a full house here today. Daniel here to kind of walk us through a few things to get things kicked off. So we have a lot of new beers coming out this month. It's August. A lot of member-only beers, a couple fun cans that we can get talking about. Outside of that, we have some other fun stuff. We just launched our new website, so I know there's not a lot of confusion, but some people have some questions. If you want to ask them, throw questions in the comments about beers, the website, anything that really crosses your mind. Just a little housekeeping stuff. So tasting rooms are open. So we are open. You can find the hours on the new website. We are doing service outdoors at both locations. So nice and distanced. It's actually pretty nice if you haven't gone over to the original location in Placentia. We have a brand new patio that Darren over here, Brew Moser, helped put together. It looks amazing. There's some great turf. I know he spent a lot of time just sifting through different turf options, and he put a lot of passion into that project. So really excited about that. So the new beers, everything's going up tomorrow for hoarders. The day after that for reserve, and the day after that for Preservation Society members. We do have like a few delays possibly on some beers, so just make sure you check your emails. Everything's going to go up, but some of the beers are going to be fulfillable. You can start picking them up on Monday, and then some tomorrow. It's a little bit of a hodgepodge, so forgive us. We're doing our best over here to get you all the beers you want to try. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. So just like we always do for any new viewers, let's kind of go around, and Riley did a great job of kind of explaining what she did just from her name here. But yeah, let's do a quick roundtable, introduce everybody yet again for any new eyeballs on this thing, and let's start trying some beers and talking about beers. So let's start with Riley. What do you do?
Hi guys, I'm Riley. I'm the brewery quality manager. What I do is run the laboratory. So we have a microbiology program, sensory program, and analytics program. So I manage that, and I also make sure that we have that everybody's on the same base as far as quality procedures go throughout the brewery, so we can get you guys the best beer possible. That's what I do.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of us like to drink a few beers. Let's move on to Brew Moser, Mr. Darren Moser. Tell us about yourself.
It's good. I haven't been on in a while. It's good to be back, Daniel. Thank you for having me.
Anytime, buddy.
Darren. My name's Darren. I'm entitled VP of Brewing Operations, so I kind of oversee all of our brewing facilities and the flow through there all the way from start to finish. Been with the brewery about a little over 3 years now, and just keeps getting more exciting. I mean, some of the beers that we have tonight there's a couple in particular that are pretty wild, and and always learning, always exciting. Happy to be a part of the team.
Awesome, Darren. Thanks, man. Yeah, we've really missed. I know there's been a lot of requests to bring you back on for some of your analysis of Westworld. So excited to have you back. Maybe we can circle back to that at the end.
Mandalorian's coming up soon. So,
don't get me started on that. Okay, Jake. Everybody, if you remember, you've probably you've probably met Jake before.
Everybody knows Jake.
Everybody knows Jake. Jake, tell us what's up, man.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Jake. Like Daniel was saying, I used to work at the DC location. I work out in California now, so I work outside of the fulfillment center. So if you're a member or a customer and you're getting stuff fulfilled at our physical location, or whether you're sending us emails or phone calls, you will probably had the unfortunate experience of running into me at some point.
That was very succinct.
Yeah, wow.
Appreciate that.
Self-deprecating. It was
a little, yeah. We went everywhere with that one. That was fun. Kurt says, "Howdy, Kurt." Sour J, man, how you doing, dude?
I'm doing great. Hey, everybody. I'm Jeremy. I'm here for the barrels, and I'm here to rip a few beers with y'all tonight. How's that for succinct?
That was good, man. That was nice and short. We might be able to keep this thing to a happy hour tonight. I'm excited for that.
It's possible.
All right, so let's start this thing off. So first up, we have a pretty fun new project that we just kind of kicked off. So I like to call them Radlers. I believe Darren calls them Rotlers. Darren, you want to kind of talk about this project? And then there's 4 of them, so 4 different fruits. And I think everybody's trying a different one. So Darren will tell us a little bit about why we're doing Rodlers, and then everyone can give us their tasting notes on the one they're going through.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Rodler is actually it actually exists in a few different iterations, like different places globally. There's UK version is kind of a shandy. But it's typically, in Germany, it's called a Radler, and it's typically a mix of Finnish beer and either lemonade, or even, believe it or not, like a lemon lime sweet soda, something like that. And so this concept really was kind of born out of a combination of the brewery kind of in the last couple of years playing around with lagers a little bit more, and some of those traditional German style beers. We've done the Pilsner, the Märzen, the Helles, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with and enjoy. And those beers are the very epitome of hitting those styles on the mark. And Radler is a little bit of it's almost kind of doing something with beer that you shouldn't do anyway, and that's mix it with something else. And if there's one thing the brewery's good at, it's just that. So we thought, why aren't we doing a few Radlers? And so we started really talking about it last year and missed summer. And coming into this year, myself and Andrew Bell and Jeremy started talking about, we really ought to try these beers this year and just see what it does. And I think we fast forwarded it in an effort to offer something new in an environment of current events where it's really hard to offer something new. So we're right here at the end of summer, and we also kind of wanted to play around with some different lager bases. So kind of created a lager base that we thought would work well with fruit. At the end of the day, it's a pale lager, and then left it up to Andrew Bell and our innovation efforts to find some real fruit purees and additions, which plays to a lot of our other strengths, to blend with this lager base, and came up with some really, really refreshing crushers. And I'm drinking the tangerine right now, and it's absolutely. Like it just bursts with fruit. but you still have that. You still feel like you're drinking a beer. It's still a really like crushable lager at the end of the day. And I think this is kind of the one I'm gravitating towards right now. But what's everyone else drinking?
I'm drinking the tangerine too because I thought you told me to drink the tangerine. What am I supposed to be drinking?
Tangerine.
Drink whatever you want.
Drink what you like.
What are you drinking, Riley?
I'm drinking the lemon.
What are you drinking, Jake?
I got the grapefruit.
All right, I'm blood orange then, huh?
Blood orange.
Well, that's a
Talk about
stout.
the blood orange, Jeremy.
That's a stout. Hold on. That's a stout. How many? Oh my goodness, guys.
But yeah,
Grapefruit.
I'm drinking the lemon rattler, and it's like, excuse
Stout.
my coffee cup. I'm moving, so that's all I got. But yeah, I'm getting like an incredible amount of like juiciness while still staying true to what we love about our lagers. I think like it's awesome, like lemon peel aroma. Super refreshing.
Does that? I imagine you're using that glass because it helps build the bouquet from the shape of the glass, right? Like, just really makes the aromas pop.
No, I literally only have this glass left
Oh.
out of my movie box.
So, Jeremy, did you get that? You get that grapefruit open? What's going on here, man?
No, I have the orange. I think I have the right one though. Well, I tell you, that's something, huh? It's a beer. It's a beer and it's an orange juice. Wow, that is something.
I was going to say, I think what's fun about this, and I saw a question: are these small batch one-off? This right now they are, and this was a project that we wanted to launch. They're launching side by side, so you can pick up every flavor, every one of the 4 flavors, and it's just going to be good. And especially here in Southern California, we're just starting to get warm. Here August, September, and this is going to be pretty cool beer to sip on during these real hot months.
So this beer will go on sale tomorrow for hoarders. So it actually won't be available for pickup until Monday. So we're having a few just delays. Some of our vendors, our label vendors, the lead times have gone up a little bit on a lot of canned stuff. So a few delays, but it will be ready for Monday for pickup. But you can purchase them tomorrow. Let's see. We got a little rendering of what some of the packaging is going to look like. So you see our 4 Rodlers on the edges. Yeah, exciting program. Easy to drink. I'm really excited to drink a lot of Rodler in the next few weeks. You guys want to move on to the next beer time? Yeah?
Yep.
Let's do it. Let's talk about Heavanilla. So Heavanilla, next one up. So this is a bourbon barrel-aged sour triple with vanilla beans. This is going to Hoarders and Reserve Society. This one will go on sale tomorrow and be available for pickup tomorrow. So packaging is awesome. The beer is awesome. I think maybe Jeremy, you wanna talk a little bit about this project?
I do. I gotta find a bottle opener though. Give me a second.
You do that. I'll answer some questions. If anybody has any questions, make sure to throw them in the comments. Keith, our very own Keith, how much for the 4-pack? So the 4-pack of the Rattlers are at $12 a 4-pack. Let me confirm that. It is, yeah. So $12 a 4-pack on sale tomorrow.
All right, Heavanilla. So Heavanilla is a scaled up version of a Hoarder's Box beer from a couple years ago. A couple years ago, we did a double barrel aged sour triple that was finished in fresh bourbon barrels, and it got a huge amount of Madagascar vanilla beans. And we really liked the way the sour triple played with the bourbon, and then of course bourbon barrel aged beers and vanilla beans go hand in hand. So we really liked this beer called Willet a couple years ago, So it took us a couple years, but we scaled up another one and aged in fresh barrels. These barrels are actually Heaven Hill barrels, which is where we got the name Heavanilla. You get it, like Heaven Hill barrels and a lot of vanilla beans. It's pretty genius name, if you ask me. But it's a wonderful beer. Lots of caramel notes on the nose, not only from the triple and the itself, but also the bourbon, and then a little bit of sweetness from the vanilla bean. It's fantastic beer.
I agree. Like the toffee and the vanilla on the aroma mixes so well with like the tartness. It's really an enjoyable beer, I think.
Yeah, I think it almost tastes like a watered down sour version of our anniversary ale. In a lot of ways, it has a lot of the same sort of base character notes, that toffee, burnt sugar, a little bit of sweetness. It has a lot of the same kind of characteristics, I should say.
I think I get a lot of, some of the bourbon barrel age projects that are big, they just kind of hit you with some of those barrel characteristics. And this one I think is interesting because you almost kind of have to look for it there, but once you find it, it's actually really delicate and nuanced, and it's all that barrel character and vanilla that we like in a big stout, but it's a lot more delicate and almost cut by the tart. It's really good.
Right.
Jake, thoughts, man? Let's hear what you're thinking. Yeah. You look like you're deep in thought. I want to hear what's going on.
No, it's just I'm shocked. Like I get so much vanilla on the nose, but I find it to be like really subtle when you're actually drinking it. But it like doesn't fight for any space with the actual base beer itself. Like they play really well together. So just kind of in awe of like how the nose, the nose makes you feel like it's going to be like a vanilla bomb, and then you try it and it's so much more subtle. But I mean that in like a good way.
Yeah, Christopher Phillips, the name of this beer when it was in the Hoarder's box, it was called Willet. Willet with the question mark. We got creative with that name as well because it was aged in Willet barrels. So we, again, got creative. Those are both pretty creative names, I think. I wonder who came up with them. I don't know.
I don't know either. No idea. All right.
Fantastic, though. I love it.
If you guys have any questions about Heavanilla, throw them in the comments. We can circle back and answer some of these later. But you guys ready to move on to the next one? Time? Yeah? No? Yeah?
Heck yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So let's leave it. Riley, what do you want to? You want to do Oud Tart with Huckleberry, or do you want to do our version of Black is Beautiful?
Let's do
What are we drinking? Black is Beautiful? Cool. Yeah. So Black is Beautiful. This is another pretty small project that we're pretty proud of. So we brewed this one in collaboration with the Weathered Souls effort. We'll be donating proceeds to the Black OC Chamber. This goes on sale again, same pattern. Hoarders tomorrow, Reserve Society the day after that, Preservation Society the day after that, and then if any is left, it will be going public mid-month. So this one again, slight delays on some labels, but we'll be ready to fulfill this. You can start picking it up and having it shipped out starting on Monday. So make sure you read your emails. There's going to be a lot of information in there, but yeah, Black is Beautiful. Who wants to kick it off? Who wants to talk about what we're doing with this? What did we do for our version? What kind of beer is this? Seems like Jeremy's got some answers. He's nodding his head. He's feeling it. Let's hear it, dude.
I was tasting it. That's what I do to get my palate moving.
Oh, there you go.
See?
Yeah, I can kind of introduce and let Jeremy kind of follow up, but at the end of the day, this project was it's a many multi-brewery collaboration for a specific effort, and so there is a base recipe that we more or less adhered to, and I think what you see in some of these efforts is breweries putting their spin on it, and I think from a brewing perspective, our take was, we could have made it the brewery, made it taste like something crazy or super heavy alcohol. But I think that really isn't the point of this project. And the point of this project was to honor the project itself and stick to the recipe and just deliver a really good roasty table stout and let Jeremy pick it up from there. And
yeah, I mean, I think it's ironic timing in a way. It kind of lined up with some oatmeal stout explorations we were doing on our pilot system at the time. So this is an oatmeal stout, but it's riffing off of the Weather Salt's recipe. So very, very straightforward. And I think Darren kind of hit it on the head there with we could have done a handful of different things to really elevate this beer to be more of our brand of stout. But I also try to think back to when's the last time we just put a straight clean stainless steel stout in a can and offered it at a price that was consumable in a 4-pack. This 4-pack's $20, so it's $5 a can. There's no post fermentation adjuncts to get in the way of the beer. So I think it kind of fills that little hole that we have in our portfolio too. And so it gives us an opportunity just to have a straight up oatmeal stout and see what people think of it. And I think if they really like what we did with it, then maybe we look at what we could do with that same style of brew in the future. So anyway, fun project to be a part of and fun to for us at the brewery to lend our support to a movement that a lot of us are really passionate about.
It's a great answer, man. So if you guys have questions about this beer, throw them in the comments. We have kind of a pretty good question here. So Robert, what's up, Robert? Good to see you, man. Glad you're watching. This is a first-year hoarder, Robert Acosta. If we order tomorrow, can we delay local delivery until Monday? I don't know, Jake. You think you?
Yeah, I can definitely answer that question. I mean, the short answer is yes. The long answer is just place the order and then send an email to Society at the brewery and just give us some specific instructions of the day that you're looking to have it delivered, and I can set it up in the queue to get out to be delivered on the desired day. So absolutely, yeah, we can do that.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's quite a perk. Huh?
That is pretty sweet. And just in case anybody here isn't aware, we are currently offering same-day delivery throughout pretty much a big portion of Orange County, big portion of LA County. You can go to the website and you can look in our FAQ. So if you click on the FAQ, look up local delivery. We have every zip code listed there. But yeah, if you order before 2 p.m. and you live in one of those areas, you'll get it same day. So I don't know if we're the only brewery doing that, but we've got to be one of the only ones. So if you want some awesome beers and you want them now, it's a good option. Jesse Stoner is asking, will this be making it to the DC location? Absolutely, it will be. Ethan is really excited to bring it in. He's been asking us daily, like, don't forget to send it. Don't forget to send it. So you'll be getting some over there. And members, if you order online, maybe this is another good point. Order it online. Since it's not there yet, make sure to add to your seller. So at checkout, you can select add to seller. That's basically your new option for requests to hold. So if you add it to your seller, you can then go back to your seller later and tell us when you want to pick it up. So you just check out with it at zero cost. You can select local delivery and pick up in DC. All right. Good questions. How long did the Black is Beautiful process take from agreement to participate in the project to canning? That's a good question.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's pretty quick. I'd say less than 4 weeks. We actually canned it about a week ago, and we're just waiting on labels so we can release it. So total process, 5.5 weeks, but part of that is just waiting for a label.
A lot of waiting for labels lately. Okay, let's see. Micah's saying, now that the brewery has honored the intent of the movement for Black is Beautiful, any plans to brew again and barrel age in true brewery fashion?
No, not at this moment, but that doesn't mean that we won't decide to do that at a later date. to be quite honest, we've been pumping a lot of beer through our system and filling a lot of barrels with other projects right now. So quite honestly, that was not an option for this go around. But yeah, we don't know. I don't know what the future holds. So let's see what people think of this beer first, and hopefully we can sell it and actually, check the box on what we're trying to do here, try to sell all the beer and make the proper donation to the charity. So help us do that, and then maybe we'll consider doing another beer.
Awesome, man. All right. Any other questions on Black is Beautiful? Throw them in the comments. I'd love to keep drinking this beer, talking about this beer, but we got to move on. Let's go. Let's keep this thing going. Next up, Oud Tart with Huckleberry. Pop these things. If you guys have any questions about this beer before we even start trying it, look at that label. That's a great label. Go ahead and throw them in the comments. Yeah, let's talk Oud Tart Huckleberry. So I feel like if you follow us, you might have noticed we've done a lot of Huckleberry beers pretty recently. I don't know, Darren or Jeremy, you guys want to kind of touch on what's going on with all the Huckleberry, man?
Sure, I can touch on that. So basically, we made these beers with Chef Brooke that I'm sure most of you know about by now. But if you don't, it's a 3-beer series, and one of those beers was a Huckleberry Triple. It's also a triple that we piloted, 8 months ago and going. That basically we had to do a couple different triples with Huckleberry to bring that Huckleberry in, and that ended up in a handful of other beers for piloting purposes. And then we actually just really loved what we had as far as a product, and we ended up spreading it around a handful of different projects. So I think that's pretty common for us. Sometimes we fall in love with certain things, and those influences kind of carry themselves into a handful of beers. Every once in a while, you'll see that we'll have 4 or 5 cocktail beers kind of in a row. You could pretty much guarantee that sometime previous, the year before, the brewers were all out drinking cocktails together, and that's how those beers got ideated or concepted. Same would be true with ingredients like a Huckleberry. If it's something we're using and it spreads itself around the cellar, then we find a handful of different uses for it. So all that being said, this is Oud Tart with Huckleberry, and Oud Tart had a long history with the brewery. Being brewed every year now for 11 plus years. It's almost seen every variant possible, and most of them are all red fruits like cherries and raspberries and the whatnot. So we stumbled across these Huckleberries, and we thought it was going to work really well. I think it's got kind of everything that's true to Oud Tart for a Flemish red. It shows all the telltale signs of being a Flemish red, from the little bit of roastiness to the high acidity to the complex nature of the barrel showing through, and then obviously a little bit of that kind of acetic funk that it has that lets you know that this is a Flemish beer. And you add to it, it's got a lot of residual sweetness for a sour beer from the Huckleberry, and then a lot of blue fruit, not only flavor but aromatics as well. So pretty true to style for the Bruery's Oud Tart brand, and just kind of a new classic variant, if you will.
A new classic. I like that. I like that a lot.
I mean, Jeremy, this is, I'm kind of, everybody knows this. I'm kind of a traditionalist. Like, I think Oud Tart from the Bruery is as good as it gets. It's as you said, it's a classic brewery beer, but this has to be one of the best combinations of fruit with this beer. I mean, it's incredible.
It is. I think one of the things that's at least showing on the palate anyway. Analytically, I don't know the exact analytics, but it does have a higher perception of sweetness, I think, than most of our Oud Tart variants, and that's not a bad thing, because that helps with the sourness and all that stuff. So
maybe it's just like the huckleberry aspect, but it's got like a distinct, like for me anyways, like almost like a jamminess, like in that sweetness at the end.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think that's that sweetness, and I also think it's that, you know, we talk about how certain ingredients, you know, we'll find a way to make most ingredients work well in beer, you know, to a desirable flavor, but there's certain ingredients that almost get highlighted in the beer, and I feel like the huckleberry in this is one of those where, you know, it almost feels like the beer is actually boosting the huckleberry.
Yeah.
Nice. Riley, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking about this beer?
I was actually thinking about like smelling and tasting this beer kind of brought me back to a beer that I had when I was in Belgium last year.
We're not laughing at you. We're laughing because that's a funny joke that's been made before.
Well, no, really, like, I mean, Jeremy, you said it all. It's hard to top that, but I mean, like, the jamminess and the sweetness is so complex, and like, it's got a nice, like, funky, fruity, almost a little bit roasty aroma. Like, it's so enjoyable, and you recognize the Flemish red, but then it's got like a twist of this like juicy huckleberry. I'm in Belgium.
Yeah.
I wish I had better glassware. This is embarrassing, but
It's fine. It's what we would expect from our quality manager. All right, so we got a couple questions here. There's a guy named Alexander Ponce, I think maybe. He says, I've noticed you guys have done a couple Oud Tart variants this year. Anything else in the variant lineup for the Oud Tart brand? I don't know the line plan off the top of my head, but Jeremy, you might any insight here, dude?
Yeah, I would say throw out your ideas. We don't have any plans currently for the next one. I'm sure there will be something that comes up, but as of right now, it's unplanned. So if you got an idea, share it with us. That'd be great.
That's awesome. Yeah, so if you have any
I'm on Slack.
for us, yeah, just throw them in the comments. If you work for the brewery, throw them in Slack. Here's a good question. So a longtime hoarder, Terrence. What's up, Terrence? Homebrew question. I'm going to be adding raspberries, vanilla, and blueberries to a secondary fermenter for a variant of my Black is Beautiful homebrew clone.
Yeah, that's not a question.
Yeah,
Terrence, that's not a question.
What's the question, Terrence?
sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Right on, dude.
Bring us some.
All right, I'm going to pull that one down. It felt like a question was being formed, and then it's like missing the second half. So
Terrence, you know better than that. You know you're going to get roasted.
He says, I edited it. Oh, here we go. How do you go about adding fruit?
All right.
There we go. There's the question.
Get it, Darren.
No, that's actually a really good question in that form. I think it really depends on what you're trying to achieve, and you know, we will add fruit to different beers at different points in the process, and what I would actually focus on you know, at a homebrew level where you really are talking about limited process resources in terms of stabilizing that beer, you're going to have some re-fermentation. So secondary, as you mentioned, is a good way to go. What I would recommend from a brewing process perspective is if you have an extra carboy or an extra clean vessel, you know, I would do your best to sanitize that fruit. You know, you can quick like flash dip it in boiling water and charge your carboy, and then rack your more or less finished beer off of the old yeast and onto the fruit. You know, take a little bit of yeast with it, just to keep it tasting fresh and let it work on that fruit juice, but get it off the get it off the barm, get it off the yeast that's not doing anything for you, and get it onto the fruit.
I think that answers that question. Thanks, Darren. That was a great answer. So here's another question. No problem, dude. So not directly related to this beer, but here's Tommy Delgadillo is asking, what brand and size fermentation tanks are you using? Darren, this is something you can speak to.
Yeah. Oh, brand of fermentation tanks. Yeah. So our believe it or not, at the brewery, we make a lot of beer with not a lot of fermentation. Most of our tanks are currently have been provided by Premier Stainless. They're a brewery equipment dealer based in Southern California, and they procured the tanks that they sell through a few different manufacturers. But they're very simple fermentation tanks. Our largest fermentation tanks on the clean side of the Bruery True and Offshoot brand are only 60-barrel tanks, so pretty small, pretty simple. We also have some Mueller tanks, mainly bright tanks and yeast tanks, and so nothing at the end of the day, nothing fancy. There are a number of tank manufacturers and equipment manufacturers out there, and brand and manufacturers start getting real important. The bigger they are and the more expensive they are. But at the end of the day, good stainless will do the job if you clean it well.
That's a good answer. Good answer. Okay. Let's keep pushing along. So we have, I think maybe we'll kind of do what we did with the Radlers for the Radlers. Darren, what's the proper pronunciation?
Well, I say Radler.
That's what you say. Okay. So the Radlers. We'll do what we kind of did with the Radlers. Maybe Jeremy and Jake, you guys take what is it? Nana's Pain Produced Out, and Riley and Darren, Vermont Sticky Maple.
Sure.
I'll take that draw.
Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Heck yeah.
Everybody's okay with that? Sorry, I know. I hate to tell people what to drink, but we got to keep moving. There's a lot of beers.
Another beautiful can.
JC says, but seriously, bring on all the Oudtard variants. Great beers made off of a great base.
How many you want? How many you want, JC? How many cases?
Cool. So let's see. Waiting for Jake to get back. So let's start with Riley Brewmoser, Vermont Sticky Maple. Second year doing this, right? We did this last year.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what the beer is and what's, if anything, maybe it's the same exact brew, but what's different this year and what people can expect off of this thing?
Yeah. Not a lot different from last year. So this was a concept that we kind of did on a bigger scale last year based on kind of our what we were doing with pastry stouts and the innovation that was happening there. And Andrew Bell, our innovation manager, did a version of this on the pilot, and it was one of those beers that really resounded with people, not only in the tasting rooms, back in the good old days, but also internally with brewers and staff. And we thought, wow, this concept's really a winner. It was actually being born out of some of the same innovation that's going to lead to some of the interesting Maple Black Tuesday beers that may be coming up. So there was a lot of good work done utilizing maple at the brewery during this period of time. So this year's version, it's basically a rebrew. We wanted to recreate what we were doing there, and I think I'm happy to stand corrected. I think the only real difference is we brought down the ABV, but by just a little bit, but not so significantly that it should affect the experience. But at the end of the day, it's a pastry stout with all the really backbone of the sweetness coming from a true Vermont maple syrup. We worked with the same supplier that we worked with last year on bringing the maple syrup in, and it's one of the smaller family farms that's supplying this maple syrup. And this is just a great beer. It is sweet, but if you liked it last year, you're gonna like it again this year. It's on the mark.
So you're saying maple coming from one of our farmer friends over in Vermont.
Yeah, farmer friends in Vermont.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I love that. I love working with our farmer friends. Okay. Riley, thoughts?
Yeah, it's got that great bourbon barrel aged stout that as a backbone, and then like the sweet, like sticky maple aroma and taste. The sweetness is definitely there, but it's not overpowering, which is what I like that about it too. Yeah, it's a great stout.
Awesome. Cool.
Looks good. Looks good in that glass.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's a good big old.
Bradley, do you want to explain your situation at all, or no? Or you just that's the glass you like?
No, okay, so everybody that wasn't here initially, I'm moving, and this is the only glassware I have. It's embarrassing, but
great.
Everything else is in boxes, so sorry, guys.
Well, we obviously have a maple theme going this month, right? Because we got the Nana's Pain Purdue.
Yeah.
That's what I'm drinking.
Why don't we talk about that? So Nana's Pain Purdue, what does that mean? What is that? Why? What's this? We have Yayas, we have Nanas. What's going on here?
I feel when I smell this, I feel like I've awakened from my slumber and the sweet aromatics radiating from Nana's kitchen. My nose guides me to a decadently sticky plate of Pain Purdue just waiting to be consumed. This breakfast-inspired imperial stout served with a bold, roasty flavors laced with maple syrup, graham cracker, and hints of cinnamon and nutmeg. You know what? It's very good. I'm always amazed by French toast or in this case Pain Purdue style of treatments, because I think all of those flavors come together so well that it really to me smells like French toast, and French toast to me always smells like egg. Like you when you soak it in egg, you cook it, and you smell all the cinnamon, you smell the nutmeg and the syrup and all that, but you still smell egg. It's still part of the project of the French toast, and it's the weirdest thing to have it in a glass and still have that feeling that you could smell egg, but it's not there. So it's just like your brain playing all these tricks on you because you have this standard aromatic profile that your brain is recognizing. So anyway, that's how you can tell if a French toast or Pain Purdue stout is done well. If it's done well, it's going to smell exactly like French toast would smell. So I think it's very, very good. It's a nice thick boy. It's got all the body that you want in a pastry stout. It's a fantastic beer.
Jeremy, just a random question. Do you prefer eating Pain Purdue or French toast?
I'm a big Pain Purdue guy.
Yeah. I thought so.
Yeah. I mean, no, I know. Yeah. I just, I say French toast a lot because I know that's what you guys mostly eat, but myself here, we tend to have more of a European lifestyle over here in Whittier. You may not know that. You may not know that, but it's true. But anyway, really fantastic beer. Jake, You're drinking the same thing. What do you think?
I think it's really good. I think you're spot on with the aromatics. The aromatics are just exactly like a French, a fresh slice of French toast. It kind of if anybody's had in the last month or two, that pilot that we did, Run, that was on some of the tasting rooms is kind of reminiscent of that. It's got like a nice smooth nutmeg that comes through that plays really well with the cinnamon. They kind of play well. And yeah, I mean, it's not like what I like about this beer is it gets all the flavors and it's nice and sweet, but it's doesn't feel like a glug glug kind of stout, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't feel like it's just like oozing out of the can, you know. It's got a nice mouthfeel and everything. No, I really like it.
Nice, man. So we got a couple questions. First one, Lupe Garza said, "What beer with maple? Sorry, working." So we actually just talked about 2 beers with maple. So we have Vermont Sticky Maple coming out, and we also have Nana's. Is it Nana or Nana? I say Nana, but I'm not sure. Jeremy.
I'm a Nana guy myself.
Yeah, I knew it. Man.
I think Keith would say Nana.
Yeah, so Nana's cane produced out. So two maple beers coming out. Question 1. Hold on, I had another question. Let me find it. Keith says, "I love my Nana."
Yeah, he loves his Nana, but see, I have that European lifestyle. Don't forget that. So we do the Nana thing over here.
So here's a good question. So dumb question: difference between Pain Purdue and French toast. I mean, I think it's pretty simple. Just I'm a French toast guy. Jeremy's Pain Purdue, so just think of that, and that I think that gets you to the answer that you're looking for. Yeah,
I'm FT over here.
French toast guy. Yeah, French toast guy.
One's obviously French, and the other one's obviously
doesn't Pain
not.
Purdue technically mean lost bread?
What?
What do you say? What you talking about? Wiki Jake, what'd you say?
And BT. Okay, so I think here's a question too. How do you incorporate the graham cracker? I've heard of people adding them to the mash. Is that something we can talk about, or is that like one of our brewery secrets?
No, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
I think we've done both. You know, that's the brewery answer. You know, we kind of explore different things with different ingredients, but I think what it comes down to is what do you want to get out of that ingredient? And, you know, so if we think about what happens in the mash is really about converting sugars. You know, it's not actually going to capture that graham cracker flavor. And, you know, so in a beer like this, we're actually using that graham cracker as almost picture it used like a dry hop. We're trying to just get the essence of graham cracker, and you know, if you put it too early in the process, you're not going to get what you want out of it. So this is late edition finished beer.
Nice. Let's see. So here's a good one, not related to these beers, but Lupe Garza is asking on a different note. Any updates to what Black Tuesday anniversary party will look like virtual? So we got some tricks up our sleeves. I guess it's multiple people doing it. So sleeves. We have some tricks up our sleeves. I think we're gonna do something. It's likely gonna be virtual, and it's gonna blow all of your minds. Jeremy's already he's smiling. He's excited about it. He knows what's going on. I think we'll talk about that a little bit later on this year. But yes, we're gonna do something for Black Tuesday. Probably gonna be virtual. Definitely going to be awesome. So we'll follow up on that later this year. But good question. All right, let's keep going. We got 2 more beers, I think, right? 2 more beers.
Yep.
See, Jake, where do you want to go first, man? You want to go to first, or you want to go to PB and Jelly Thursday?
I think we should do first. I'm not trying to be silly, but yeah, I think so.
Purest first.
Yeah, first. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it. So
I'm just excited to try it. So
Jeremy, is it first or first?
It's first.
It's first. Darren, first or first?
First.
Got it. Okay. Let's do this. So we're gonna open this bottle up. I don't know. I know this is like a big passion project for Jeremy. So Jeremy, you want to?
Huge
you want
passion.
to talk about this? You want to talk about what this beer is, what it's all about, who's it for, what's it taste? Give us the rundown on first.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got first in the glass here. this beer is a special beer. So made with our friends at Three Chiefs Brewing, local guys that we've known for a couple years now. We wanted to make a beer together, but we didn't want to. We wanted to restrain ourselves, and so we made a very small batch. We took half of that batch and we're double barrel aging it for next year release, and then we packaged off half of the batch for exclusively for our Hoarders members, and then exclusive to our Hoarders members. Every Hoarders member gets one bottle included in their membership, and that's it. There's no other bottles to sell. So we only packaged a handful of these bottles, and it was enough to give every Hoarders member one and every one of our employees one as well. So a very stumbling on my words there, but a beer that was designed to leave you wanting more, if you will. So it's something we wanted to reward our Hoarders with and make sure that they had something that nobody else could get other than employees of the brewery. And we wanted to keep it small and special, and the plan is to repeat that exercise next year. So this is our first collaboration with Three Chiefs, and so the name First kind of a play on that. But really what it's also a play on is actually the adjunct and the style of the beer. So we decided to do a Neapolitan style of ice cream treatment on this beer. And when I started researching the history of Neapolitan and whatnot, I came across this crazy story of this German prince by the name of Puckler, First Puckler, which is kind of weird. But first in German means prince, but it also means our first collaboration with Three Chiefs. So what makes this, German-inspired Neapolitan treatment different is that the original Neapolitan ice cream thing was actually in cake form, and it was a German dessert, and it used strawberry, chocolate, vanilla, and actually almonds as well. So our beer that we have here today, First, is a Neapolitan beer with almonds. So it has cacao, Madagascar, and Tahitian vanilla beans, strawberries, and almond meal. So, a very big stout. It's 16.2%. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's where we're at. And then it's also very viscous. It has a lot of the residual sweetness to it. And then I wouldn't say it's over adjuncted, but the adjuncts definitely show. I mean, every one of those adjuncts is there. So I think this beer is special in the way that it was designed to be, and that it's very limited, and it's meant to kind of reward our highest level club member with something that is special and controlled in a way that you're not going to see it anywhere else. So we also did do a little bit of draft of it. So we'll have 1 sixtel in the Teru tasting room for Hoarders members to go in and taste or have a pint of over the next until that sixtel runs out. And then we have a handful of other ones for future events. So anyway, I think it's a fantastic beer, and I hope you guys like it. There's not a lot of it, so we'll see. We'll find out what you guys think.
So I see I'm gonna jump back to you, Darren. Jake was just nodding for 2 minutes right now while I saw him tasting it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of beer that I go nuts for. It's just phenomenal. I mean, that you said it was. I think you guys said it was 16.2.
16.
That beer is hiding that 16.2 pretty well. It has ever so slight residual heat, but you're just gonna have so much fun with it until you don't. But no, I mean, it's a really great beer. The strawberry comes through really well. I think Daniel, you were saying earlier that if you're a fan of that Love Bites that we put out earlier this year, very similar if not the same, like strawberry. So comes through awesome, and you definitely notice the extra flavors of the almond and the vanilla coming through. It's definitely more viscous than the average Bruery high BV stout, but it's not overly intense. I don't know. That's just an awesome beer. I wish I had more bottles of this.
So just to
Nice.
kind of like reiterate what Jeremy was saying. So this one is included only for hoarders. And in that group, it's only, I believe it's the mixed hoarders group and the brewery only hoarders group that are getting bottles included. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. So hoarders only beer, that's it, right? It's only included. There's none for sale. These will be available for hoarders to have shipped and picked up on Monday. So you can buy it. This is another good thing, like to kind of walk you through how the new cellar system works. So included beers, they will just populate in your cellars now. So you'll see it in your cellar. It will be pending, so you'll know it's yours. You won't be able to select shipping or pickup until Monday. But starting Monday, you can start grabbing them. Darren, I didn't mean to cut you off. It sounded like you had something to say.
No, not a lot, but I think I just wanted to add and kind of tag on as both of you have described the exclusivity of this beer and the included nature for the hoarders. You know, it was different too internally for our brewers for this beer because, you know, at the end of the day, every project we do is special. Like that is what drives our brewing team is like we do however many beers a year and everything is interesting and every month is different. And like, that is it's amazing. Actually, it keeps us on our toes, but then to actually go away from this idea that we actually do, believe it or not, try to make enough beer to provide our membership with what they want, what they want to buy. And if they want to come back for another bottle, you know, we can't guarantee it's going to be there, but we try to make it enough that if you want to come back and get another one, you can. And this one you can't. And I think that really was a lot of fun for us.
Well, let's.
I do want to add really quick, like I agree, like the flavor on this is extraordinary. The strawberry is right on with Love Bites. If you enjoyed that, it's right on. There's a nice nuttiness on the aroma. I know that Lisa asked a question.
I was just going to get to that, Riley.
Okay, sorry, Daniel.
Drink now or cellar? Riley, as our quality manager, I think you're very suited to answer this.
Drink now, absolutely. This is, you know, like with how many brands we make every year. It's a lot of people do want to cellar the majority of the brands that we make, and I encourage all of our members and all of our fans to consume right when we're selling it. You know, whether it's barrel aged or not, when we're selling it, that means that it's either been aged. It's been aged in our cellar for the appropriate amount of time, and when we release it, it's time to drink it. So, I say drink it now.
Nice. Is that the consensus? Are we good with that? Anybody want to chime in on it? Jeremy's thinking.
I'm gonna I know what Jeremy's gonna say. Well, no, I don't know what Jeremy's gonna say, but I think I'm gonna throw this out there that from purely a maintenance of what we're tasting now, I agree with drink it now, because the flavors are impeccable. It's exactly what we intended it to be. It is that Neapolitan flavor. The strawberry it hits just right. It's a beautiful beer. But that being said, I could get there on cellaring it, and I'm gonna pass off to Jeremy on that note.
Well, I think you could drink it right now or as soon as you get it on your couch by yourself, you know, out of the bottle. That's one way to get at it. But I also think
garages are good.
Garage or whatever. But I also think you know, a lot of our hoarders members are you know, not local, so it's going to take them a little while to potentially get the beer. So it's definitely a beer that's built to hold up to some time. But then a lot of our other members are friends with each other and are more local, or they're friends with each other and in another satellite spot. And I think that's a good opportunity if you're friends with another hoarder, to maybe share one now and then get back together a couple months later and share the other. I kind of said all that, forgetting about the COVID times right now. So maybe you're not getting together with people. Maybe you should just drink. Maybe you should just drink this bottle at home by yourself. I don't know. But I guess let's put it this way: if we only made a select number of these bottles, and we're not putting them up to sale for other people to hoard them, then this is a special beer that you should do what you want with it.
I like that. I like that concept in general. Yeah, just do what you want with it. I'm into it. Let's answer a few more questions. So JC, I think we answered this a few times, but what's the alcohol? 16.2? 16.2 on this. 16.2. It's a big beer. That kind of leads into the next one. Terrence Mullins is saying, shall I solo dome it? I highly advise no. I mean, but it's up to you. It's your beer. Let's see what else we got. So Tristan, I think Micah kind of answered this in the comments, but it's a cool question. Why almond milk instead of lactose? I think that's not what Jeremy said. So if we want to kind of clear that up, I think it's almond meal, right?
Right. So now Tristan's asking still the question, why no lactose in an ice cream stout? Just seems a curious decision. Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be curious. Here's one of the things with my thought on that, and that is that the more that we looked at the opportunity to do a Neapolitan, I didn't think that we had to use lactose to pull off that flavor. We get a lot of creaminess and perception of sweetness from vanilla. We also can source different cacao nibs that will supply a creamy texture to a stout. And then the thickness of the recipe itself, like I just didn't think it warranted it. And then also the cake nature of it. So, it was built off of a Neapolitan cake as well. And I think anytime you make an ice cream beer, you don't necessarily need to use milk sugar. The same way that if you make a black chocolate cake beer, you don't need to use, cake flour. You can still just use chocolate and still get somewhere. So creative decision, but that's what we went with. That being said, I do like your the misunderstanding there from almond meal. Like maybe almond milk would have been pretty cool. Honestly, that could have been a really cool thing that could have provided some creaminess as well. And we just did something like that with the Three's Co-Company beer, where we actually brewed and made our own oat milk that we added to the beer, and that was actually a pretty cool little innovative thing that we worked on. So yeah, sorry for the misunderstanding there, but there's my take on that, and thanks for the recommendation on the almond milk, because who knows, maybe that's on the next one.
Well, I can tell you for sure, like anybody who's worried about like the viscosity is there on this beer, regardless of like whether it has lactose or not. So it's there.
Yeah, this thing just coats like your whole mouth. It's crazy.
No, it's one of the. I feel like from a mouthfeel perspective, and I remember we sat in sensory and went around the room, and it was like everyone agreed, like the mouthfeel on this beer is heightened against other things we've done, and that's saying something.
We're getting some really great questions right now, so I'm going to pull one up. I think we'll come back to it later. Can you tell us more about Distinguished Gray Monday? Yes, we'll talk about that when we come back to like kind of open questions at the end. I'm remembering this one because that's a fun beer. Saw another good one, and I think it's kind of tied to this. So Kurt says, does the brewery hold tastings of beers over time to assess how they evolve? If so, for all beers, Riley, right up your alley. Let's hear what you got to say about this.
Yeah. So depending on the style of beer, we'll hold tastings. We do sensory every single day at 10 o'clock, and that's to release beer that we package, and it's also to taste beer as it ages, and this helps us kind of assess shelf life, but it also helps us assess like different ingredients that we're adding to beer, and understanding more about how they age, and understanding more about how we added them and how we added them, and where we added them in process, and how that's working for us. And kind of looking at beers in the future, or if we're looking to repeat something. But yeah, we hold sensory for all of our beers throughout their lifetime.
So here's a great answer. Thanks. So yeah, great answer. Tristan's asking another good question, or it's not a question, it's just a statement, and I just kind of want to like throw it up here. Love Bites remains the best strawberry flavor I've had in anything. I think the team was pretty happy with the way the strawberry came out in that beer. Super bright, like it's hard to do in beer, and so I think just wanted to pull that up because I think it's pretty reflective of what we did in this beer too. That's all I have to say about that. Cool. I don't know if anybody wants to chime in, but yeah.
Let's go back to Jonathan's question about Grey Monday and Chocolate Rain.
Can I answer the second part first? It's not delayed.
Sure. Yeah.
Chocolate Rain 2.0, December. It's happening. Get ready. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's not delayed. And then the more distinguished Grey Monday. So you guys see what we did there with the Chocolate Rain?
I like to confuse you.
We made a little play on words, and we double barrel aged it. We more than doubled the amount of cacao, and same in turn with the vanilla. So the Grey Monday is another play on words. It's a play on the other spelling of the word gray. And then that's why we're calling it a more distinguished. So you could look forward to a double barrel aged Black Tuesday variant, essentially. I don't want to tell you too much, but it's a Grey Monday variant, and it's double barrel aged, and there's a couple little tricks we have up our sleeve on that beer. But I think you guys are really, really gonna like it.
I think so too. I'm gonna do 3 more questions, and then we're gonna move on to the last beer. So here's a fun one. Joyride make another appearance, asking for a friend. I don't know how to answer this. I mean,
I do. I don't want to say it'll never make another appearance, but our next candy bar inspired beer is not the Almond Joy. So there'll be another candy bar beer coming your way.
Butterfinger?
It's a good idea.
I mean, I don't know. Is it?
I don't know. Damn.
Oh, well, butter.
These guys have
butter and beer. Like, I mean,
butter?
come on.
Did you say
All
butter?
right. I'm going to move on to Lisa Moni Wickeden says, plans for Xmas beer now that the days of Xmas are over. And I just want to say, are they? Are they over?
Christmas is never over.
No, I checked the calendar. It's happening this year.
You can't cancel.
Oh, so it's happening.
That was before COVID, though. But because COVID.
I can answer that. So we have some good, exciting things coming up for Christmas beer. So first of all, 12 days is the original 12 days came last year, was 12 drummers drumming. We released the fresh Christmas recreation box, the 12 days box, and this year is the release for members only of the barrel aged Christmas box. So that's coming your way, and you heard it here first. All of those beers that we rebrewed, there's going to be a box and a release, and then as far as the continuation of the series, it's starting all over. So we will be releasing Partridge in a Pear Tree. It will not be a rebrewed recipe of the original Partridge. It is the same in naming convention, but it's going to be a fresh imagining of what that series can be. So we're opening up the 12 days box to a whole new innovation of recipes. So it's going to be get in for another 12 years. That's the story. So
It's a good story. I like that story a lot. Okay. Last question before we move on to our final beer tonight. We're starting to creep up on time again. We always do this. I just have such a great time hanging out with these guys, having beers, talking beers. So I'm sorry, it's going over an hour, but it's just the way it goes. I think this one is pretty good, kind of tying back. Riley, on this topic, can you share any recent beers that you've tried that have aged very well?
Recent beers, I guess I don't know yet, but on like typically our barrel aged beers age very well. So
Can I? So I don't mean to cut you. I think the question, maybe the question is framed wrong, but has anything that we've put through sensory recently that's maybe an older brew, like is it holding up and evolving? Not so much is like a new beer aging well.
Yeah, but I mean, any Black Tuesday or Black Tuesday variants will hold up very, very well. Also our beer wine hybrids hold up really well. And I mean, this is, they hold up 1, 2 years. They hold up really, really well.
Let's open it up, because I mean,
what do you guys?
Darren and Jeremy, you guys are both part of sensory every week. So,
well, I think those are the easy beers to talk about holding up. We could talk about Bruers, or we could talk about So Happens It's Tuesday, or these beers. I think we spend, believe it or not, we probably spend more time in our lab with Riley kind of coaching us through, looking at our lagers and our IPAs. We taste those at, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days. We taste them ambient stored, warm stored, cold stored. We taste it all crazy. And I think sometimes like there's some of those batches where it happens to me a lot where, I'm like, man, that one's really good, and then I find out it's a warm stored beer for, this doesn't happen all the time, but 90 days, and you're like, really? I would have thought for sure that was, like 2-week-old beer. So I don't know. I get kind of, I love that we do that. I love that we take our quality so seriously. And I think those are the things that like kind of I don't know, reverse inspire me a little bit, that you're like, wow, that's we got an IPA to show well after 90 days and sometimes even longer. What am I doing wrong with this beer that should last 5 years? Like what? How could I do better? So anyway, that's my thought.
Well, I guess I was looking at the question as more of like you're holding it in ambient storage, so it's in your cupboard.
Yeah.
How
I didn't even know what the question was. It was gone. I couldn't see it. I don't know what.
Well, I think just to lend my 2 cents is like, I come from a very traditional and conventional training in brewing, and beer is best fresh. Yet all the technological brewing process methods are based on making it more stable and last longer, because we understand stability. But you have to understand that beers that we make at the brewery transcend all styles and all flavors, and we take risks in the beers that we make to achieve the flavors that we want to achieve. And part of the reason that we hold the age tastings that we do, that Riley helps to coordinate, is so that we can understand things that we've done within our process that are going to affect how these beers are aging, and it actually leads into the release process too. So there's you look at beers like Onus and Spontaneheim that Jeremy and Keith are bottling at Drew, and we're actually tasting them leading up to when we think they're drinkable. We're actually looking at them on the front end from the same sensory analysis perspective. And that's all part of that equation. So I don't actually think that we can. I think there's certain beer styles where you can actually put a definition on, like, yeah, like this beer is going to be good up to this date if it's stored like this. But a lot of the beers that we make, and especially our bigger beers and our more experimental beers, that's where we actually do depend on not only internal tasting, but also the feedback from our members, from our customers, and it helps us make better beer. And I actually do believe it has helped us make better beer over the years. So
cool. All right, we got to move on to the last beer. So last beer of the day. Everyone, get your whale shark openers out. This is a waxed bottle. We're going to do PB and Jelly Thursday. So this is a 19.4% Black Tuesday variant. So this is Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels, peanut flour, boysenberries, salt. Let's talk about it. What do we got going on here? What's special about this beer? Jammy J, why don't you give us a rundown of this jammy beer? Oh, Sour J, sorry.
Oh yeah, okay. Wow.
I didn't recognize that.
What's the beer?
It's a PB and Jelly Thursday.
Oh boy, the return.
The return is back.
I tell you, we've been wanting to bring it back for a while, and we finally got the peanut butter in. So yeah, so we finally got the peanut butter in. We got the boysenberry puree. It's very, very. It's a PB&J beer, and we've been doing them for a long time, so it's a pretty easy process for us. But I think this year's beer, is carrying a little bit of complexity from the barrel aged blend. We had some slightly different barrels to add in here, a couple nuanced barrels, and the treatment went off really well. I actually don't have a glass of it in front of me, so I'm hoping maybe Darren can lead this little tasting. Yeah, he's got it. I'm trying to not ruin my night right now.
I was going to say something about I already got my chicken and mushrooms going for the family. So as soon as I get done from here, they're ready to eat. I should be fine. But that being said, this is a big beer that smells and tastes like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So, there's your warning. I think this year's version is actually a lot jammier than I remembered in the past, which isn't a bad thing. You got peanut butter there, but I'm getting a lot of jam, like a lot of fruit.
Oh yeah.
That's by design too, right? We took the dosage up a little bit. We wanted to make sure that we were hitting over the stout and over the peanut butter.
We did, and I think it turned out really well. I think this is one of the, it's kind of funny because on these Black Tuesday variants, the days of the week beers, there is this idea that we want to hit the mark. We need to hit the mark. There's an expectation on these beers, and that's true. But at the same time as brewers, where we find that inspiration, and I remember having these discussions that was PB and Jelly Thursday well received. Did people love it? Yes, it absolutely was. But then that's where it gets fun, right? That's where our brewers say, like, yeah, but man, wish it had a little bit more of that goober, that peanut, that jelly, that really good flavor. And we make those small tweaks where this is still going to be everything that everyone expects, but you're going to notice a little bit more jam on the nose, a little bit more peanut butter on the flavor. And I think we hit that mark. It's tasting really good.
Jake, haven't heard from you in a minute, man. What are you thinking? What's going on with this beer?
Well, just my first thought was Chocolate Rain, honestly. I noticed that like the 2020 edition of Chocolate Rain was like noticeably different in like it had way less residual heat to it, which kind of allowed like some of the other flavors to come through a lot easier. And I just think that like probably with the way that you guys ramped up the adjuncts, like the fact that we've just got such a smooth base dialed in for this year, it seems like probably just lends itself to like incorporating those flavors just as like, you know, as like the people were looking for. So I'm not shocked that it came through better than it has in years past.
All right, let's hit these questions. We've got some good ones coming in. So James Jimmy Lewandowski asks, any big differences in brew process or ingredients between this batch and the last from a few years ago? Before we dive into that, thanks James for your patience. So James, actually, like the new website, we had like his is the only account that had this one really weird, unique bug where he couldn't access his account like on the login. So we finally fixed it today. Thanks for your patience, dude. But let's get to your question. And I think that maybe Darren, tell us about this. Or Jeremy.
No. It's on PB&J.
PB&J.
No, I think we touched on a little bit of it. Brew process, no. You know, so on brew process, I would go back to some of the evolutions we've made on Black Tuesday base in general. So we wanted to make sure Black Tuesday a couple years back was well tempered, darker and balanced, and a little bit better mouthfeel for the ABV to residual sweetness ratio, and I think we've achieved that. I think even 2018, 2019, and we're looking forward to 2020 Black Tuesday are phenomenal just base beers, and what you have to remember is on these days of the week beers, that is the base that's going in here, and a couple people have alluded to that. So that's really your brewing process change, and that happens a year before this beer is even coming out of the cellar. Those brewing process issues are we're producing wort that ferments that then goes into bourbon barrel aging well before a year before this beer is released. That's important. So that's your brewing process stuff, and then comes in the blending, and that's really Jeremy. Jeremy is our expert and leads the charge on developing our blends, and that's the next piece of this. What is going to be the best blend of those select barrels that we have in the cellar to complement the flavors we're trying to achieve in this beer, and so that's the next step, right? And then there's the final process, and then we're talking about introducing flavors of jam, jelly, and peanut butter, and that's where our innovation arm comes in. That's where Andrew Bell comes in and talks about ratios, and then our production team comes in and talks about how we're going to introduce that. I mean, this is a multifaceted approach to achieve the best flavor that we can in this beer, and what we're always invigorated by is not being satisfied with what we did last time and getting it maybe just a little bit better this time. And I feel that as long as we keep that attitude, the flavor will be better.
It's a great answer. I think that touched all the points that were of the question that was asked. We have some more. We have a couple of good questions coming up. So next one up. Where did that one go? How is PB and Thursday different than out of the lunchbox? So 2 PB and jelly inspired beers, but why don't you walk us through what's the difference?
Yeah, out of the lunchbox was a blonde base beer. So that was meant to be a little bit more of an approachable beer. And I don't remember the exact ABV, but it was less than 10%. So for the brewery, it was nothing. and it was meant to be a really like just crispy, crusty sandwich. But out of the lunchbox was inspired by the same concept, So in a Black Tuesday base, you got to boost everything up a little bit, get those flavors a little bit more robust. But they are similar in concept and ingredients. Jeremy, I don't know if you have anything to add.
No, I think you nailed it. Nailed it. But what do you say, Daniel?
Hey, Daniel.
Daniel?
7-3 on out of the box, by the way.
Gotta stir the soup.
7-3, you say?
Yeah. That was a fan in DC.
Yeah.
People here in DC.
Nothing. 7-3.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
agree with
great.
Darren. I think, everything he said was great. Let's see. More questions. We have a lot of questions. Here's one. When is BA going to unlock Daniel's account? So this is, if you're a member that's pretty active in our Beer Advocate thread or forum, it's kind of an inside joke. So we all got locked out. So actually Steve, Saison Steve, at Saison Steve, he's your new main contact in BA. I think he's killing it. He's got all your questions. So just reach out to Saison Steve. He'll take care of you. I don't know. They won't unlock my account. It's very strange. Here's another good question. Do you designate a barrel based on the bourbon for a specific beer, or do you find a difference in the bourbon barrel that you use? Yeah,
absolutely. Every bourbon barrel has a different characteristic. Kind of rule of thumb based on age of the product stored in the barrel. The longer you store bourbon in a barrel, the more bourbon character we're going to get from the barrel. The shorter time frame that you store bourbon in a barrel, the more oak we're actually going to get from a barrel. So we have at least 10 different bourbon barrels producers in our cellar, and then many different types of spirit barrels. Very rare that we designate one barrel type or one producer type for a project, unless that's some sort of collaborative effort with that producer. And most recently, the one to think of would be Copper and Kings for apple brandy barrels. And then we've done a couple different whiskey barrel collaborations in the past too. But generally speaking, we like to blend multiple barrel types together to achieve the desired outcome in the final blend.
Nice. That's a good answer. Okay. Another question.
It was
okay. Another question. So we have Joe Pfeiffer here asking, what is your go-to brand of peanut butter? What's up, Joe? He's an old colleague. He's a Hopsy head. Great guy, but very interested in our peanut butter. So do we have a preferred brand?
Yeah, what
Skippy.
up, Five? Skippy.
Skippy?
Yeah, Skippy.
Skippy.
And that Funicello. Yeah.
All right, moving on. Good answer. Fast. Has the pandemic affected where you are sourcing your ingredients? Darren's making faces, so I think he's got something to say.
No, I mean, actually not really. I mean, everyone's hurting for business right now across the board. What it has affected is lead times. It's affected planning. It's affected billing. It's tough times for everybody, but I don't know that we've actually seen any big hard changes in terms of people not able to do business with us. It's just the effectivity of that supply chain.
Nice. All right. Let's keep going through. So we're starting to just get kind of like open-ended questions. I think we've run through all the beers. If you have questions on any of the beers or the website or anything like what Darren's watching right now, now's the time to ask. We're going to do a few open-ended questions before we. What, dude? You are a tastemaker, not just.
I'm multitasking.
Yeah. So here's a good question. Did you already discuss the Black is Beautiful release? We did. So that's going on sale for members this week. So tomorrow, hoarders, day after reserve, day after that, Preservation Society. It's going to go, if there's any left, it's going to go public mid-month. Read your emails. We'll have all the details in there, but it'll go on sale. It's not going to be ready for pickup or delivery or shipping until Monday, but it's coming out. Maybe just give a quick recap, Jeremy, on what the beer is. Like where did we go with our Black is Beautiful version?
Black is Beautiful, oatmeal stout, riffing off of the original Weathered Souls recipe, but very, very close to it. Pretty simple, 10% straight up stout, stainless steel in a 4-pack at $20. So super, super easy to get your hands on, super consumable. I hope you guys enjoy it. And just remember, we can't donate any money to charity for beer that we don't sell. So we got to sell it all, guys. So you want to support the charity, come out and buy the beer.
The show.
Nice. It's a good answer. Tommy Delgadillo is asking, is there a particular beer that your brewmasters are particularly proud of, or a style of beer that they feel they're best at? For example, here at the brewery, we feel like we make the best. I don't have any brewmasters on with us today, but Jeremy and Darren.
Well, we don't have. I think that's
Darren, if you want to take it from here, we don't have any on with us, but
well, it's actually a fun question because we don't have brewmasters, and when Patrick Brew founded the company, he that is not our structure. We don't have a brewmaster. We have people that are in significant roles across production, but we brewmaster by committee. So myself, Jeremy, Andrew Bell, Keith Camellia, Seven Weber, and all of our brewers, Riley, of course, in QA, we make decisions about our beers on a contingent basis. So there's the brewmaster question, and I think the kind of follow up contingent answer on that question is we all have different things that we like. We all have different things that we're passionate about, but we all collectively get behind every single brand with the same method that we're going to allow others to enjoy as well. That's how we operate. That is what we do. That is what we pride ourselves on.
Perfect. I think you nailed it. JC has a fun question. So I think we're kind of shifting into like a few, maybe we have 10 minutes left and we're just going to do some open-ended questions. 10 minutes, Jeremy, you're going to be all right. So JC is saying, you're stuck in quarantine forever. You get one beer to have an unlimited amount of one music album to play over and over, and one of your 4 fellow panelists to be there. Who and what do you choose? This is great because I'm hosting, so I don't have to answer it. I just get to ask you guys. So no pressure on me. But let's go to Riley. Riley looks really excited about this question.
Yeah.
Hit us with it.
So one beer to have an unlimited amount of unwind, hoppy pilsner, show. Music album, Glass Animals. I can't remember the name of the album right now. I don't have anything in my house, so I can't remember. But Glass Animals, probably Daniel. I'll probably hang out with Daniel.
It's a good call.
We like to run together, and
we do have a run club. If anybody wants to join our run club, no. Let's move on. Darren, same question. Everyone's gonna have to do this one. Darren, hit us with it.
Darren.
Unlimited amount of. I think I'd be at Root Keller Pilsner. It's where it's at. One music album to play over and over. I don't know. That probably be something by Third Eye Blind. And fellow panelists, to be there? What?
Who do you want to hang out with? Out of
Out of all of us, who do you want to hang out with?
Oh, easy sour jibs. He's the best.
Hey,
All right, I'm down. I'm down with the Root Keller Pills. Album would be something by Randy Newman from the 70s. Probably short people maybe. And yeah, I would hang out with Darren. I think we'd have some fun.
Jake.
What do you got, Jake?
Well, I'm going to answer the question in like reverse order because I think it's more appropriate. But I would pick Sour Jesus to be stuck in quarantine with forever. And since he would probably not like that choice, I would pick Westwood so he could drink his life away and whatever Grateful Dead like greatest hits album.
Yeah,
And just sit in the corner and try and ignore me the rest of the time.
that sounds rad.
Did we just become new best friends?
Yeah,
what?
It's good.
that's rad.
You know, you have to go.
That's
No,
rad.
I don't. Nah, I'm just a host. Let's move on.
All right.
Dude,
Yeah.
I can answer this. So one beer, I'd probably just do Hella's. That's what I drink now. So Hella's. One music album. I've just been listening to like Frank Ocean, like Orange. Orange has been like
Oh, that's a great album.
playing in my office nonstop.
I like it.
One of your four fellow panelists. I felt like I would have said Sour J if everybody else didn't, but I don't want to boost his ego. So
Yeah, don't do it.
Riley, we like to run together. Run Club, Brewery Run Club. If you guys want to come run with us, come out here. Those are my calls. Let's get one more question in before we sign off. So,
See you guys.
no, we need you for this one, dude.
Oh, you didn't say. I thought you said we're signing off.
No, we're gonna answer one more. Burke
Oh.
Graham says, "I came up on a 2013 Black Tuesday. Any idea how that is gonna hold up? I'd like to open it soon. Thoughts on that beer?"
Well, I can say that I had a 2009 Black Tuesday a couple months ago at a bottle share, and it was amazing. So as long as you take good care of the bottle, it should be good to go.
Drink it.
Yeah, drink it and replace it with the 2020 Black Tuesday. It'll be for sale come first week of October.
For show.
For members, and on the last Tuesday of October to the general public.
Join
all
the
right.
club, get it early.
You can join the club and get it early. Thanks everybody for tuning in. It's been a huge,
Thank you.
huge exciting time for us, and we gotta